everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the First Chapter with J O and C. C is me, Jolanda, and Olivia. And we have another one of the basement crew with us today, our buddy and good friend, Yohance Chisholm. Welcome,
What's up?
Yohance.
What's up? What's up?
Yohance is known in these musical streets as the Black One, and we're going to be talking about his music endeavors as well as our friendship over 30 years in the Basement Crew, and also about his life, his journey as a father, and also as a family man, as a married man. And we're just going to ask you some questions. Just kick back and relax. This is just us talking. And
That's right.
we're just gonna jump right in. Just tell me, I'm gonna ask you about fatherhood. That's what I'm gonna do. So, tell me, what did you feel the moment that you became a father for the first time?
Um, so thank y'all for having me. This is humongous. And when I first when I had a son, I was 24, 24 when she got pregnant. And at the time I was living with two of my partners, people I still do music with today, Hassan Liggins, Emilio Bucks. And uh, at the time, the plan was to take our music on the road, to take our music to California to start promoting within the different musical group sectors, I guess. So I don't say clubs, but it's a bigger scene out there in Los Angeles to get on with music, and so uh, we had we had just all moved out. We had a townhouse. We had all moved out of the townhouse. People were packing up, preparing to go to California, and I won't lie. Uh, I had some. I wasn't on board with moving to California too much. I wanted to stay here in Chicago. My parents were here, and everything I had known was here. And I ain't gonna lie, maybe I was praying for a sign to stay. And this child was born. And so I was 24, 25, and some I didn't know at the time, but you don't become a full functioning adult until you turn 25 because your brain has not fully developed the critical thinking resources it needs. This is why when you're 21, you still do dumb stuff. But at the time, I took his birth as a message from God that this is where I needed to be and that um, it was time for me to start building my legacy. And so I come from a two-parent household with a strong father figure and a male-oriented, male-led family environment. So uncles and grandparents and these things that even my grandfather who was not alive, my grandmother still revered him as if he was in the next room. So I looked at his coming, his birth as a blessing, and honestly, it did change my life for the better. At the time, I don't know what the other outcome would have been. Probably would have been out doing some stupid stuff or in LA, who knows? But the journey of raising that child was it was it was I don't even have words to describe it because it was so impactful to try to cultivate growth in him, but then at the same time I was growing as well. And then now he's 20. He just turned 24, and he's still a little goofy, but I love that little dude. He got his own little thing going, and I try not to overstep my bounds because again, God got a plan for him that I ain't a part of. So my job may or may not be done. So, but yeah, that was a life. That was like it was really, really surreal to have that experience where you recognize that you can no longer be a child and now you have to face adulthood head on. It's real. And I don't think a lot of people communicate that to young people when they get ready to have kids. It's like you can't be a kid and have a kid. Like that's over for. Like you got to make some tough decisions out here. And whatever big panties and drawers you got, you better pull them on, pull
Pull
them
them
up.
up. Pull them up. Yeah, it's over being a kid when you decide to have children. So yeah, we totally understand that. That's something we can, but all of us can kind of, uh, connect with.
Yes, yes.
So your first son, your first child was a boy. And you said he's 24 years old, and I know that you have a second child. So she was born how many years?
Yes.
So how
My
was
little
that like
princess.
having such a beautiful little princess?
Oh my
10
God.
plus years after after the first one.
Again, and I'm not trying to make this into a spiritual hour, but
Okay,
um,
we like that. Go ahead.
God is in so much control. You have no idea, and a lot of times you run into problems is because you're resisting the will that He has set for you. And I'm not a minister. I'm not advocating nobody's religion or church, but I do know there's a creator. And when I look, I'm at a certain age where I could see his hand, his or her hand, leading and guiding me um, throughout my life and put me in situations I had no idea why I was there and then seeing beautiful outcomes. So here comes this child, right? So I have a son. My son is a junior in high school. I'm getting ready to be an empty nester. He's doing great. He's on deck to get a scholarship, so I ain't gonna have to come out of my pocket for college. Things are going phenomenal. It's like, oh, this is gonna be magical. And I ain't gonna say we wasn't trying. And at one point in time, we went to a fertility place, and I ain't like that whole. No, I didn't like that whole process. It was cold and it didn't feel right, and so I didn't pursue it beyond the first attempt. Um, but I wanted additional children. I wanted my child to have siblings to exist without me, and then I wanted to have a girl too. And um so years go by and nothing happens. I didn't think I was shooting blanks. I just didn't it didn't happen. And so my son's 16. We were able to, I guess, cultivate a relationship again because we didn't have to have a babysitter. We could leave him at home. He was driving the car, and it was really great. And again, how God is in control. So our family unit consisted of my mother, my father, my son, and my wife. We did a lot. We've done a lot of things together. In 2015, my mother came down with some version of dementia, Alzheimer's, to where she went from walking, talking, and doing things on her own to not being able to do anything on her own except breathe. She was bedridden. She had a catheter. We had to change her. She didn't really talk to you. She really didn't look and engage with you. And there were fleeting moments where you knew she was still in there and it just wasn't. You just weren't looking at a shell. Um, that being said, again, we're dealing with that. Kid is in high school, getting ready to matriculate. I'm watching my father execute the husband 7.9 program, husband 10.1 program on taking care of my mother and making sure she had all the things she needed to be comfortable. Um, and my wife was having some issues health wise. She thought she was she thought she had cancer
Mm.
because her family has a history of female problems. So I hate to say that, they probably be like, "Why you say that?" Anyhow, um, so it just so happened it was on Valentine's Day. My mother was in the ICU because she had a feeding tube and a catheter. And if you know about those two things, you got a hole in your body or you got something inserted in your body, you're gonna get infections.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in. It's not ICU. It's a level below ICU. PCU, PTU, PTD. I don't know. Whatever. It's not ICU. You're not like out of it, but you got something wrong, real bad. So we sitting there stressing, and I think is this at this point it is evident in my mind. I think everybody else kind of felt the same that this may be we may be coming to the end with this with mom because we had been through a lot trying to keep her well, and she was a tough lady. She went through a lot trying to hang in there with us. So, but we were actually getting good news that particular day, and my wife had went to the doctors, and so I had stayed in the hospital. Everybody came to the hospital. She called me. She said, "You want to sit down? I need to tell you something." I'm like, "Oh crap, here it is. She got cancer." I'm like, "Okay, God, you done took me this far. You just gonna have everything fall apart on me." And she said, "No, I'm pregnant." And so I say, "By who?"
I know you did.
Because I I've been shooting that shot up for a while and ain't nothing happened.
Oh my goodness.
But um, she was pregnant, and so I was overjoyed. I guess at this time, maybe I was like, this would have been 10 years ago, so I was 40, almost 40. No, yeah. Well, no. This was after I was 40. So this wasn't 2015. Maybe like 2017 ish. Yeah. So uh, so okay, boom. And then again, just I'm watching the old man go through this, and I this is a conversation for another day. People do not know what it means to be a husband and wife and the ramifications of you saying "I do" to a person to death do us part and sickness and health. You don't have no comprehension of what it's like if you ain't never seen nobody care for they spouse. You have no idea. You fronting. It's going whatever you if you ain't had nobody showing this to you or you never been around it. When you get to that, you gonna stumble, you gonna fall, you gonna freak out. Anyhow, so I'm watching this man do these rituals for his wife, and so now I'm in like I'm in a different plane of mind state. I'm so excited. I'm having a daughter. I get this second chance to have my legacy lived on. Here I'm like I feel like I'm like Noah. I'm like Moses having kids later in life, and then I found out it's a girl, and I'm like, oh man, now I'm really man, my legacy about to live on. It's gonna be Chisholm's in the next millennium. Let's go. And um, but then my wife is older, and I didn't know this, but having a baby in your 40s versus having a baby in your 20s is two different things.
Yeah.
And it is if when she had Jelani, it was like she just skeeted him on out, like blue. But this child, it was like this child was absorbing her actual life energy, and like y'all remember in that movie Poltergeist where the thing was sucking on their face and it was like taking their life. That's what it was like. It was like this baby was trying to take her out. Like she literally went into the hospital maybe about 3, 4 times. She literally had to go to the doctor like every week. It was the most like I just couldn't comprehend. I I doubted this other doctor who delivered my son into the world because I'm thinking she ain't do none of this for him. It's something wrong with him. That boy's special. It's something he broke. And this child, she done been X-ray scan. We had heart scans of her in the belly and everything. And he ain't had July ain't had nothing. She was eating prenatal Tic Tacs, and that was it. So, uh, but again, it was the right time. It was God's plan. It was the right time for me to have another kid because my mind was in a place I feel where I had the patience and the temperament to guide another young soul. And so I was super ecstatic. And this little girl, that she give me a run for my money, but I love her to death. And I would just like my son, I would do anything. If something happens to either one of them, you you most certainly, absolutely, positively have to go through me. There's no there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I might not be the first person there, but I'm gonna be there in that equation. They're gonna have to go through me because I love these kids. I love these kids so much, and I'm just so blessed to again have kids because a lot of people don't have kids, and a lot of people don't have a somewhat balanced environment to raise their children in and have that. I don't want to say we live a fantasy life, but to have that life where I'm gonna have to dip back in time, have a semi Cosby-ish, Huxtable kind of environment, So I'm blessed, and again, it's all. I'm not gonna preach, but this is all for me. Just moving on faith and believing that God got me wherever He let me go. If He lead me there, He ain't just lead me there to have me destroy. He led me there for a reason to be uplifted and blessed.
That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. You talk about this beautiful little girl of yours, and we know that she is a neurodivergent child. And can you talk about that a little bit more? What were the early signs, early days, and how did you feel, emotionally and
Oh man,
mentally when
yeah.
you received the diagnosis that she was neurodivergent?
So again, this is something else. All right. So only, only, uh, a 16-year gap between Oni and Jelani. I've been trying to have kids for a long time, and so when this little baby comes to us, uh, she is the youngest in our clan. Everybody else, even well, yeah, even the the other young women in our families, most of them, two that haven't, most of them have had their kids already. So she is the baby, and folks are going crazy. Oh, y'all gonna have a baby. Oh, y'all gonna it's gonna be a girl. But again, having a baby over 40, different affair. Uh, and again, God was in the right place because I had a good job with benefits that could afford uh, the proper medical care for my wife. So during our pregnancy, we had to go have amniocentesis, whatever. They stick the needle in the body and to the baby through the belly, and they pull out some DNA, and they're able to, you know, get some information on the development of your child. Um, in this in this process, and it's done at it is done at a weird state. Um, it's not like it's not a term, but it's like early on. And so they pull us in, read the reviews. They say, hey, okay, this is what we found. Uh, your daughter was, is developing with an extra chromosome, an extra X chromosome. And um, it's not totally rare, but it is rare. And it's been diagnosed as a condition called Turner syndrome. And there's a lot of young ladies who are born with this condition, a lot of support groups. Um, the hospital where she was born, they were really well, they were really good, and they had a team established to address all of the issues that we possibly could face as with a newborn who had Turner's. And as you read up on it, some of the traits that go with having Turner's is it's the women. They typically are short. Um, uh, they could have mental development issues. They could have some physical development issues. Um, they also could experience issues with fertility. So, um, and then also, they could have what she had was um, the development issues of her heart. So while she was in the womb, they had came across, they had identified that her heart, and they can do this through ultrasound. They can see your child heart beating in your belly. They had determined that one of the valves in her heart was not developing properly. Okay, cool. And so then we're reading up on it again: mental development issues, physical issues, heart condition, short, infertile. What are we doing here? And so they gave us the option if we determined this was not something we could do to terminate the pregnancy. And I didn't want to do it. And it's not my decision. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my wife who has to go through this process. And I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't again. Being older, a different mind state. God brought me here as a reason. He done gave me all these wonderful, crazy life experiences. I'm able to empathize and understand how knowledge of so many things. Okay, right, all right. So I can't imagine what it would be like for a woman to hold life in a womb at after wanting to bring life into this world and then being told that she can't have it. And so again, I had no. I gave my opinion to my wife, and I said the decision is yours because I don't want you. So the converse was we go through the process, and then now we have just the most difficult life trying to raise this child. Um, and having a child with something nobody wants your child to be looked at differently because the child is innocent, and I will rip your eyeballs out of your head if you say something to taint whatever happy condition I've established for this child. So we went ahead with it. We went ahead with having this baby, and her name is Oni. and only came in this world, and her heart valve was developed properly, and only came in this world, and she didn't have any physical deformalities, and only came in this world, and she was beautiful. And over time, she did show some signs of being neurodiverse. We identified she wasn't meet certain milestones when she was about 2. And again, because I have decent employment with good benefits, we saw help and we got engaged with some folks. And during COVID, because he was a pre-pandemic baby, we had people coming over to the house working with her on therapy and doing Zoom sessions, and then we got involved with therapeutic school, and uh, Oni is, again, I'm not a doctor. Oni is developing better than a whole lot of kids. Uh,
Thriving.
man, like I say, the thought was she wasn't gonna speak for a long time. There were no words this child said, none. But now she may sit up and talk to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning while you're trying to go to sleep. uh, she's is funny. She's cunning, clever, tough, uh, adventurous. Uh, she is. She is. She's caring. She makes friends. She makes friends without saying what, like saying real words. Like people love her. Like outside of our family, people legitimately like, oh, I love Oni. That's my friend. Like she don't talk. You know, she won't talk to you. She gonna call. She may say something about word party, but she not really. You know, that's my friend. Okay, okay. So she's a beautiful. And again, that's only God. That's not. That ain't me. I can't take no claim for this child existence except that I'm like Joseph, and he said go and do it, and I was like, all right, what's in it for me? All right, all right, all right, I roll. You say he's your son? Okay, all right, let's go. So, but no, that's my baby, and so going on in. So this, I'm talking a long time. I'm sorry, I'm long winded.
Go ahead.
So,
No. No, go talk.
so on this journey of trying to, you know, provide everything I can for my child who is neurodiverse. So the first thing, again, knowledge is power. If you have a child who is neurodiverse, do not give up. And so now you must become the advocate for this child. I read a passage somewhere and it said something about because as a parent you see your child in different lights than society will. So God gave us these neurodivergent children to challenge us on another mission. So they had the most purest of souls. And I don't know if you ever had a chance to be around a child who was neurodivergent. Some kids are malicious. They do things. Uh, it's just bad. They do things intentionally to mess with their siblings, take stuff, or to just, I'm not saying it like, but they just bad. Some kids just have a bad energy. These children, they don't have that. And so, even if, like, say, for instance, she goes to the store and she picks something up, she had no intention of stealing. She don't even know what stealing is. She just is appreciating the beautiful things in the world. And so, anyhow, along this journey, my heart is moved infinitely, right? So, going to these therapy centers, you meeting other parents, they going through the same thing. They ain't had no sleep. They don't know what to do. The kid ain't talking to them and telling them what they need. They freaking out. They don't know if they need to go to the doctor, the dentist, or to go get some chicken nuggets. They don't know. And so it dawned on me, and this is the other piece. I'm driving we driving everywhere, like north side, western suburbs, downtown. We driving everywhere to take this child to therapy. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's a kid 3, 4 blocks from me who mama don't have a car. And she can't go, she don't have insurance where she can go to Northwestern. And she don't know how to advocate. She don't have internet at home. The only internet she have is on her phone. And she don't know that there's groups out here, there's opportunities that you can get your child engaged in that will enhance their ability to function in the real world when they become an adult. And then I drive around my community. You go to some suburban neighborhoods, and autism is everywhere. Autism is at the school. You can go to the public school. They got ginormous therapy centers. They got playgrounds. Everything is autism friendly. The hood ain't autism friendly. And so that was wrong. And we decided to start a non for profit to correct that, because our kids are awesome and they don't need to go outside of their neighborhood to demonstrate how awesome they are. And so that was my gift. And this is the other piece too. So then, because I'm old, because I'm old, and don't laugh at me, y'all, because I'm old, I don't think I will be here that much longer, right? So my son got to have me for uh, 20, 30, 25 years, plus however long I'm here. But she's not gonna get me for that long. She got me, she ain't even 10 yet. And so so my time with her is gonna be drastically reduced versus what I gave my boy. But I wanna leave something, I wanna establish something that may be able to take my place in the event that I'm gone. And so, and then again, this child is so beautiful. And if y'all met her, okay, if you meet her in the right circumstances, you get to see how, uh, what's the word I want to use? I hope I ain't making it up. How magnanimous she is. Like she is a being. She draws people into her. Her smile is magnetic. Her charisma and her energy is beyond the power of mere mortal. It is she is an entity, a force of nature. And so again, I wanted to create something to, because and I think she would be a spokesperson for our organization as well, just because when we go places, she pulls the children to us. Like we'd be out and people like will come across a restaurant and be like, oh, we saw you over here with her. Yeah, and our baby has is yeah, and we just how did you do that? And how and we I mean, we can't take credit because yeah, we have been dutifully working the system, but I have not done anything to get this child to communicate. I just took her somewhere. I just kept taking her. I took her to see Elmo and Blippy, and we took on a plane and we took in the car and I talked to her like she's a regular human being and tried to explain things to her, and I showed things, and I went and bought the chew stuff and the blocks and whatever it is she need to express. I got it. I did it. And so now she's kind of starting to blossom to where again she's not nonverbal because she does talk, but she doesn't know the social situations to apply language. And so sometimes she gets a lot of stuff done with no words. But and I want other people, other parents, because it could be a daunting task to have this responsibility. And you may not see. your situation as I'm explaining my situation. Just because you don't have the information I may have had been exposed to, but it is a charge from God for us to take care of these children. And if you do the work, if you do the work, the results will come, and you will be so grateful for them results. When that child, and you see the stories now, thank God we have social media, and I feel bad for people who did this in the like 80s and 90s when you didn't have nobody else to turn to. But when you see that child break through and actually acknowledge the person in front of them and have a genuine moment, and it's on point and it's pivotal, it will it will melt your soul. It is so powerful. So we here because our kids are awesome.
They are. Wow. You don't know how much your story uh, mimics the things I went through with my daughter. Same
Mm,
thing. When she was in my womb, they did the amniocentesis, and they said that she was developing this extra chromosome, and
mm,
but they were saying that she might have Down syndrome.
mm,
So
mm.
we did the whole, genetic counseling and all of those things. And they asked, what do you think? What do you want to do? You might have a child with Down syndrome. How do you feel? What are you going to do? You know, what I mean, what are you going to do? I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a child with Down syndrome. I'm going to have my daughter. I'm going to have a child with Down syndrome. That's just
That's
it,
right. That's right.
you
That's
know.
right.
But of course she was born in the and she, like she said, they have problems with their heart, and she did have a issue. She was born with a hole in her heart,
Mm,
but she did not, that chromosome did not develop further.
mm, mm,
But the
mm,
hole in her heart developed. See how
mm.
that flipped in
Mm-hmm.
Oni's case and Bethany's
Mm-hmm.
case.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I was like, when I was hearing this, I was like, oh my God, this is
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, just the opposite. So yeah, I can understand how your wife felt, because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying, but this is my
Mm-hmm.
baby.
Right. 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 And look and but I say stay in the fight. Look at your
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Look at your baby. And so that's again, it's a charge. It's not a punishment.
It's not,
It's
and I'm
not a
glad.
punishment.
And I work as, a special education educator, and I'm also a behavioral therapist. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so nice. It's so rare that I get to see parents who are educated. Like you said, so don't discount what you do. You're like, I didn't do
Mm-hmm.
anything. Yes, you did. You
Mm-hmm.
educated yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And some is rare. Some be like, I'm on it. I want the best of my kids. Some just, they feel so defeated because of the
Mm-hmm.
system, and they
Yeah.
can't. They don't have, beyond county care or any type of other health insurance to get them to what, I mean, with the care that they need for their children. And thank God, and we're fortunate enough to have employment where we have a higher level of insurance, that
Yes.
we can be able to seek out those better situations for our children. But they're not
Yes.
like that. So your foundation is a wonderful asset that for our community, so that we can
Yes.
have that for our children.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
wow. So
Yes.
you've answered a whole lot of our questions about how how you felt, and how you developed such patience and love, and that she just taught you so much. And
Mhm.
you've answered things about the healthcare system, and developing spaces, and your foundation is really developed in that space for us in the African American community. So we're gonna talk more about that. I hope you get a
Mhm.
chance to tell us more about that. So I think that's all I have. The questions about you and fatherhood. Um,
One more question that you have.
well, you go ahead. You ask it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this because I'll ask this of both of you because I did not know that about you, Carmen. So, how do you take care of your own mental and emotional health with dealing with this?
I'm still trying to figure that out. No, I'm saying, but no. Okay, so I'm gonna go real deep, right? Okay, so my wife right now takes care of the bulk of my daughter, making sure she gets everything that she needs. Um, it is a full-time job. I get up, I come to work. She gets up and she go to work, and um, I watch this woman put a lot of stuff before her own benefit. Uh, to the point it's like almost reckless, but it's from her desire to want this child to succeed too. And so, um, what's that song by Seal? You never gonna survive unless you get a little bit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I think I just can't. And I hate to bring something from work, but work we was talking about something that's like we have a principle. It's called serving customers first, and the objective is when you are engaged by a customer, you should have a maniacal focus in meeting their needs and expectations. And so this woman, this woman had gone a little crazy meeting the needs and expectations of our daughter. Now, again, at the end of the day, when you see my daughter, mm, just I
She
can't
all
think
taken
of
care of.
I can't talk about enough magnanimous, monumental words to describe the care that this woman has provided for this child. And you see it, like you see her, like, and I ain't gonna lie to say I had nothing to do with it, but you know this child's love, and we are crazy, and we sacrifice a lot. Like man, like my well, we 50, so ain't no social life, but ain't no social life. It's family work only. That's it. And if it don't fall in one of them buckets, yeah, we might have to be able to get that to once a month. And I figured I'm trying to do music and all this stuff in between here, starting a non for profit. Again, everything else is less of a priority than owning. So our whole objective in our house has come to raising that little girl. And mental health, could I be doing a lot better with my mental health? Probably. Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But could she be doing better with her mental health? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And some of her stuff, either one of our stuff, like you know how you push yourself, but you trying to you telling yourself, oh, the greater
Hmm.
good, it'll be great. That's every day. And so am I gonna say you could do this and have a mental mind state? Probably not. Probably not. Because if you ain't never been around a kid that's neurodivergent, it'd be a lot of weird stuff going on. It's a lot of it'd be some spinning and some running, and you know your heart almost stopping several times a day because the child have no fear, and you gonna be a little crazy. But then that's why we here. That's why we started this. Is so you don't have to be crazy alone. You can come be crazy with us, because I mean, and if we not crazy, gonna hurt you, but you need an outlet to your child that is neurodivergent, because that child consume all. If you by yourself, especially if you by yourself, all of your mind. That child is doing stuff. And if you don't get an outlet, or if you don't get help, it can get rough as they get older. So So we formed this because I know there's somebody out there struggling right now. There's a dad, there's a mother out there who are trying to figure out how they can be themselves and still raise a child. And truthfully, I don't have an answer for you because I'm still trying. I mean, I'm trying to to be myself, but it all gets put on pause for this child. And so, if you got some time, I got some time. Maybe we can get together and we can try to be ourselves for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but it's good to know that there is a place where even though with a neurodivergent child, um, things get crazy, but that the crazy is okay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
It's okay. It's a
oh
normal.
yeah,
That's
oh yeah,
normal. You know
oh
what I mean?
yeah. We
That's
gonna
your
learn how to
normal.
STEM. You better
You
learn how to
you have
STEM.
STEM.
You
You
better learn how to
learn how to
STEM.
STEM. What
You
you
better
gotta
learn.
do? Come on, come
You
on,
get it shaking,
come
get it
on.
shaking,
Get do it.
get your weird hand moments.
Go ahead, do it. Whatever makes you feel better, because it's self soothing. And if you got
Yeah,
to learn how to self soothe, and you under the, I guess that's the reason why I kind of connect with uh, the special education and special needs community, is because I kind of understand that you know that's normal. I hate for people to say, "Oh, they're different. They're doing." I'm like, I know, no, no, no. Everybody has their thing. That's their thing,
that's
and
their
it's
thing.
okay because that's normal for them. You may have, what I mean, you like to eat eggs every single day. That's your thing.
That's
That
their
might not be,
thing.
what I'm saying. That's for somebody who doesn't, intake dairy. That's not normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so we
yeah,
all have our
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
For me, I mean, as and I think I can, speak on the behalf of being a mother and a wife and having children, and so I mean, and and I know that Jolana and Olivia can attest to this. We can't help it. If you are a mother who is attuned to the care of your family and your children, it kind of is automatic that you put yourself on the back burner, and you can't help it until somebody realizes, tap you on the shoulder, go, baby, I'm gonna think I'm gonna need you to go comb your hair, or you know, you or you need to come on and just have a sit down because I can see you, sis. You need a break. You need to sit
Hmm.
down because we are that we go, and you try to find somewhere or someone to help you commiserate or help you kind of figure out, can I just get a break? Can I breathe for one moment? And I didn't necessarily have that,
Mm,
particular, but I did. I mean, I did have Jolana Olivia who could just be like, calm, just, if you need to go in that room and sit down, I'm about to lock the door and I ain't gonna let nobody come in there. You
yeah,
just go there.
yeah, yeah.
So we were lucky to, have that. Now that my daughter has graduated, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm still doing it. It's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with her now? What is she gonna do? Girl, she going to college. I don't have to worry about
Yep,
summer camp. What I need to
yep,
do with her for the summer? Okay, what happens when she goes to the? I don't have to.
yep,
I don't have.
yep.
So it's like, some part of me is like relieved, and the next part of me is like, now what am I supposed to do with myself?
You gotta let her fly. You gotta let her
Yeah,
fly. You gotta let her fly.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a question concerning fatherhood.
Mm,
So earlier, you were speaking without preaching and saying that everything comes within God's time,
mm.
and that you and your wife, who, by the way, we don't know who she is. What is her name?
My wife is Nadia Chisholm.
Thank you. That's very important because she's just been your wife and she's actually her own person. So,
That's yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
um, so you and Nadia have been trying for a while, and your daughter was just waiting until the right time to come because
Mm,
had she come earlier, you didn't
mm.
have the capacity to give her what she needed because Jelani needed you. So he
Yeah,
was older. So
yeah,
he understood mom and dad can't. do everything for me because my sister needs them. So,
mm,
she
mm,
came, like you said, it was perfect timing. She came when she was supposed to come.
mm-hmm.
And you know that having a sibling that's far apart in age, how that works, because that's
Yeah,
your story, as well
yeah,
as Carmen. She understands that that's her story.
yeah.
So with both of you, don't say that, oh, she may not have me. I mean, she might not.
He might
But
not. We look.
look at your reality. Your parents were, well, your dad. So your
Mm-hmm,
parents were there with you for a long time, both of them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So don't even put it out there that you're not going to be there to see her into adulthood. You're
Uh,
going to be there. You will both be there. You will hold her hand into adulthood and usher her into that cycle of her life. Okay.
Absolutely.
And
I manifest that. Yes.
okay. And you were speaking of your nonprofit, but is it still in the works? Is it at a point of completion where you would be willing to share the name? Because someone out there might be interested in helping you out with some type of supplies or connections that you might need to grow it further.
Oh yes, we are live. We are fully 501c3 state registered, non for profit. Our kids are awesome. You can connect to us at www.okainc.com. That's okainc.com because we are here to help you. Check us out. Get in tune. We got a mailing list. If you want to give us some money, we'll take that. If you know how to get some money, hit us up. If you got a kid that needs some help, give us a call. If you're a parent, you need some resources, let us know. We're here to help you.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
know,
Thank
Thank you.
you.
hype
Thank you.
yourself.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's what we're
Yes.
here for. We're
Yes.
gonna hype it up. We're gonna promote. We're gonna share. We're gonna do all of that because your non for profit is much needed and absolutely a wonderful idea.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
thank you again for that. I'm like, you had me on the emotional roller coaster.
Oh yes.
Um,
Oh
and
yes.
aside, my mom said hi. She just walked past. Okay,
Hey mama.
so we're going to pivot into marriage and partnership. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So again, what's our lovely wife's name again?
Nadia.
Nadia. So how did fatherhood with both children, you can either group them or you can separate them, how
Mm,
did fatherhood impact your marriage dynamic?
mm. That is a good question. Um, okay. Uh, Having children will change the dynamic of your marriage. Having children will change the dynamics of any relationship. Uh, if you get married and you're fortunate to have time to get to know your wife and cultivate a relationship and a pattern, uh, there is joy. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not saying this to like I'm leading you guys to a cliff. So there's a whole lot of joy because this is what marriage is about. It's about procreating life and celebrating love. And so when you have a love baby, because if you are a dutiful husband, you loving on your wife, you have a love baby, um, you excited. And it's a, it is a, it is a spiritual time when you have this child out of your love. Um, that being said, and don't hate me, y'all. Every woman I know, every woman I've witnessed in my lifetime have a child becomes a different woman after she gives birth.
Most
We
definitely.
do.
Absolutely.
Um, it is as if a powerful being gets awakened in them. Um, and the sweet little woman that you knew before is now is no longer there. I mean, she looked like it, but she ain't there. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying this in a general way to speak to the power of a woman and a mother. And so, and this is something too. This is why it's important. This is another reason why the Bible is important. And I'm not promoting Christianity. I'm just saying that there is a creator, and you need to learn how to experience life with the creator. And this is the closest thing you have to giving you some realistic information on how to do so. That being said, this is why the story of Joseph, Mary, and Jesus are important, is because when that woman becomes a mother, uh, her purpose is elevated beyond just being your wife. Um, and a lot of men don't comprehend that because we our transformation is physical and we look like men. Where a woman transformation is on a whole different level. She had cells. She had meiosis. Is that am I saying it right? Is it mitosis, meiosis? She had she had she had alchemy kind of shit happening inside of her body. And we don't do that. Like it's unheard of. Like this woman actually split some cells out together and formed a whole nother life form that she nurtured into existence and then somehow got it out to where it's outside of her and it's living. And then some of her cells is in that being, and then some of that being cells is still inside of her. And she's not the same woman. She's an all powerful being now. And so um having a wife go from wife to wife that's a mother, you have to take on the role of Joseph. And so your job now is to make sure that she's okay and make sure that she has space and make sure that nobody can mess with the directive that she's been given to raise this child. And she might be able to metamorph herself back into that young, sweet, innocent woman that you fell in love with, but she might not. But at the end of the day, that woman gave you a legacy. She gave you a seed. And so again, at the end, as a man, you have to protect, uplift womanhood, and protect children. And so it's a lot of growth that you have to go through if you do it the right way. And I ain't gonna say I'm doing it the right way because I struggle. But I think at the end of the day, my heart is in the right place because I do try to give my wife space to do what she needs to do in her role. But there are some days I miss that sweet little innocent girl um, that had me chasing her all over the place and stuff. But then again, I'm an adult, and so I understand there's there's a time and a place for everything. And and then, and I'm gonna share this because
So if we're clear on this
oh,
3
hold on,
through 17,
hold
I'm
on,
going to go ahead and
hold on,
start
hold on.
calling these PSAPs, but I would like to see them kind of stable for about 30 minutes at least, now that we're hands off. Okay, that's cool.
All right. Sorry about that. Um, I think there's a lot of people don't have the examples. And then again, this is why the Bible. and not to say don't be a Christian, but read the Bible. It's got information in there for you to grow and develop in the right way and be a positive influence on others. So I had a father who married this woman later in life. They have both established themselves. My mother had been married before, had a child, had divorced this man because he was not doing what he needed to do to care for her. And her, now, so, and this is deep. I try to figure this out. When my father met my mother, she had already transformed into the superwoman because she had a kid and she was doing all these things by herself. She was going to school, making sure my sister went to school. They had a crib, they had a car, they had money in the bank. And my father at the time had not been married. And I think they met in their 30s. And he had not been married. He was in the military and he was working for board education. He was doing something. He was an operating engineer. And so uh, he's he was already enrolled. He was protecting women and children. And so my mother saw him at this school and thought he was cute. And she went in her mode and she got him. And they locked up. And my father cared for my sister and married my mother. And then I was born. And but how did he swoo this woman in her goddess role? How did he get her when she handling all her business and not like she didn't need a man, but she needed and wanted this man. I still haven't figured that out. And she was a feisty woman too. Like she was like my mama had a pistol and she's kind of person that cuts you up real quick and if you talking slick, you might get that pistol, you might get stabbed, you might get cut. She ain't play. She's from the projects. She ain't play. She was sweet, she was little, but she did not play. And I'm just still trying to figure out how he was able to woo this
He
woman into having a relationship with him.
he probably fulfilled that masculine uh role that she needed in her life.
Mm,
He did
mm,
that. We all, we have to stand tall in our feminine energy all the time, especially after, like you said, after we become a mother. There is a transformation, and we stand tall in that feminine energy. And it takes, but there's still certain things that we need um, from a man. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
And
Yeah,
it's still
yeah,
certain things that
yes,
there's certain things that we
yes,
need. It's either we get them or we don't. We're gonna be all right.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? Either way, if we get them or we
yes,
don't.
yes.
But if he was willing to step forward and he fulfilled those needs for her, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean they were, and from what I hear, like see, my mom, she was kind of feisty, but over here she kind of calmed down. So he definitely must have filled something, some vacancy that she had. Um, but I had this man in my life, and so a lot of people don't have that. And so I was telling somebody as I look back over my life, I said I think a lot of times I was so you only you typically only can do what you have been exposed to or what you if you don't have no exposure, you don't know what to do. So I'm watching this dude. He was my hero. I remember like writing something as a kid, like he's my best friend. That's my daddy. I love him. He's the greatest thing. And so for years, this man had been setting the standard for me. And so um and I understood that was part of my role. Granted, it's not part of everybody's role, but I understood that was part of my role was to be a protector and provider. Um, Again, I was blessed to have an example in my life every day. And then even after I got married, like he's right there. And so if I had a question about some stuff that was going on, I could be like, "Hey, Bob, what's that all about?" "Oh yeah, she just crazy. Don't worry about it. You just go in the other room and close the door. She'll bring you a sandwich once she calm down. Okay, all right. Once you calm down, so you'll be all right. You'll be all. You can go back. Don't say nothing right now. Don't say nothing. Okay, 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 pop.
Okay. Well, you said a little earlier in your conversation uh, that you miss the young woman Nadia used to be. Have you had a discussion with her and just said, "Hey, baby, I miss you. I know we got a lot going on, but I miss you."
Hmm.
Because she's wrapped up in being a mother, so she doesn't know that she's not giving you something that you need unless you tell her.
I mean, we do talk about it, and so the truth, like I say, like again, today here it is. It's 8 o'clock. I'm at work, and
Hmm.
so to fulfill our duties to our obligations, the truth is, the truth is, some people can do it, but most people, you have to go out into the world separately to do what you got to do. And so, managing that um, requires you to be very humble and requires you to be very faithful. And so, I'm not, I'm not. So again, we do communicate that we miss us, if
Okay.
you want to say it like that. So we will, and this is sad. We will schedule time to try to be us,
That's
but
not sad, that's smart.
That's not.
it's real because at the end of the day, especially if you have kids, you like again. When Jelani was, we were so happy. Jelani, we didn't have no more baseball practices, no track meets. We didn't have to. Your life become consumed by these little people. You are constantly going, oh, we going, what you doing at 14? Oh no, we can't do nothing. He got that, he gotta
Hmm.
go. Oh, we get ready to go to Aruba. We only got the tickets for it's $358. Oh, that's how much it costs to register him for the travel ball. So we can't do that because our pockets be tight, and then we got to go. Now is the we was ecstatic, and so again, that's why I think we were chosen to have this little beautiful angel again later on in life. But I ain't gonna lie, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. You imagine you young and you horny and you want to get it on all the time and you can't get it on because your kid is cock blocking and something she tired, your wife tired, she got vomit on her and her hair looking crazy and a naked baby and I'm going in the back. But I mean, again, focus on the objective. And um, another thing I say this is make good decisions. If you don't make a good decision, oh, you have to live with that decision for the rest of your life. You imagine you made a bad decision with your partner,
What, like what? What's a
like
bad
you just
decision?
Choice
like you picked a bad partner,
person.
and
Yeah, you
y'all
pick.
they was just causing turmoil in your life. They couldn't compromise, and they wasn't willing to run the play with, and they didn't know how to take one for the team, and
Yeah,
that would be rough. That would be really rough. Well, that's probably why people end up getting divorced. But
one of the reasons.
yeah, I'm like a gang. It's blood in, blood out over here.
Okay. Well, speaking of blood in and blood out, you had also spoke about how your dad cared for your mom
Hmm.
while she was going through uh, her illness. And you had mentioned that that's when you get to see the other side of for better or worse. You
Hmm.
know, that true compassion, that true love, that true caring. No, Nadia was not in the same state as your mom, but she was a high risk pregnancy. She had a whole lot of mental hurdles that she had to overcome, uh, and you had to be there for her. So, how did that well, you were very lucky. You got to see it in action with your dad. But how
Hmm.
did that part of your relationship, did that help to strengthen your bond with each other? Or were there obstacles in that where sometimes, you guys might have been at odds and had to come back together and work through that?
So I think I'm gonna answer this correctly. So watching her go through, uh, I'm even going to use the pregnancy. Watching her go through this growing, like we've been together for a long time, right?
Hmm.
So, and then we old. We're not old, but we old. And so health
You're
issues
older.
have,
You're
we
older.
older. Health issues are part of aging. And
Hmm.
you go through physical changes. Um, you learn things about your body that you didn't know. Um, and you have some scares. Um, and we both have had some health scares over the years where things happen and you just don't know. And in those moments, you have this flood of thoughts and emotions, and what if, and am I going to be, and then what happens if this and then that, and yeah, it does change how you care for your partner. I think it. So the one thing I've learned over this whole existence is life is fragile. We're not guaranteed one more second. Uh, that being said, you should appreciate what you got, why you got it, because it could be gone. And in the mix of the ebb and flow of a relationship, I hope I've shown my appreciation. Um, it has made me care for her more, to see, you see the fragility of somebody, and you kind of realize how precious they are. And it makes you, want to try to make their existence a little bit less stressful. Um, do I accomplish that goal all the time? Absolutely not. Most days I probably am getting a C, but I'm trying. I'm trying, and again, I do see that again. These little things have made me, be a little bit more receptive to her. Like, what is she? She shouldn't be doing that. And so, hold on a second. Don't get up. Let me go do that. Or, um, I'm not stalkerish, but and I don't know if she does this to mess with me, to kind of prove like she's still this powerful being, but like she likes to go out, and if she want to go out, and she want to go out to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and like, don't do that, because that's the demon hour at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And but who am I to tell this woman who spit a child out of her body that she can't do what she want to do? So now I'm just sitting at home mad because she like not wanting my protection skills and my protection advice, and then I gotta wait and turn the alarm off when she come home at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and let the ring people know there ain't nobody breaking in. It's just this powerful creature decided it was time to come back home. But no, I mean, I am, and again, I think if you really, and health is a test. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell y'all this too. Before we got married, when I figured out she was gonna be kind of the one I was gonna roll with, um, So I got sick. I got sick. I was living with my boys. I got sick. I was sick as a dog. I got so sick I like lost my voice. I didn't know what was wrong. I had fever, and at the time, we had dated, and then we had broke up. And I stayed in contact with her, and well, we wasn't trying to do nothing serious. And I thought I was trying to be young player out here. I was courting a couple other women, and they had called check on me. It was like getting close to the weekend. It was like during the week, and when you're young, Friday, Saturday night is when it go down. So folks calling, checking in on me, and man, they was playing me short. Like, oh, you sick? Oh, yeah. And this lady, she called me. And I had talked to her a couple of days. She called me. She heard me on the phone. Sound like laryngitis, sound like high pitched voice, horrible. She like, what the hell? That don't sound right. She ain't had no car. She ain't had no car. She drove to my crib, took me to the hospital, and sat in the hospital with me. Shit, overnight. I don't know how. I don't even know who car she was driving. She ain't have no car. She ain't have no car. How you get a car? Did you steal his car? I, I'm not even gonna ask because I'm sick. I'm thankful that you came to rescue me. And here I am. I'm sitting in this car looking all frail, and she like putting blankets over my shoulder and getting me into the emergency room. And it was like, damn, ain't nobody else give a fuck about me. And this woman that stole somebody's car to come take me to the emergency room and sitting in here with me. And I was like, nah, I don't know if you love me or not, but that's enough. That's enough for me to at least want to try it out, see what happens. And it's been a long time since then. It's been a long time. We've been together. What year is this?
2025.
2025. So I met her in 96. Is that 30 years?
29.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, make a good decision because you got to live with it. My father used to tell me that you be the product of the decisions you make.
Mm.
And I thought he was just trying to teach me some math. Like, you talking about math. Crazy.
Lord. Okay. All right. Well, so it appears Queen Nadia, she has found some outlets, and you found one yourself with your music. So, and again, what's your stage name?
Black eye.
Black Eye. Okay. So Olivia has some questions concerning that part
I
of your
sure
life.
do. And
Yay.
just to let y'all know, I am a Black Eye fan. So
Hey!
I listen. Great music. We are gonna
Thank
link
you.
it because I'm telling you, he's got some bangers that are great for the gym when I'm at the gym.
That's
So
what's up. That's what's up.
my first question is to you because I don't know this, but what was the first like your first call to music? Like what was it
Mm,
that was calling you to start music?
mm. Okay, two-part story. You remember how your mama used to clean the house on Saturday and she turned the music on? I used to love that. Like most people like dreaded hearing the music. I used to
Hmm.
love when mama was cleaning the house and she played them jams. And we used to have a stereo hi-fi in the living room. It was like furniture. And you lift the top up and it had this intricate record player in there. And you had you could it would flip the album over once you this before you had to flip the album over so you could continuously listen to the music. And my mother loved music, and so we listened to everything like jazz, rock, classical, R&B, Motown, doo wop. What up? We listened to it all. Um, and then now this is something don't nobody know. Well, y'all might know. So I love hip hop. My
Hmm.
cousin, my cousin, I got exposed to breakdancing. Love breakdancing. My sister was dancing. I love break. Now this is 80s. This is like 80s. I'm like 9. I love breakdancing. I like the hip hop scene and sound. My sister was a dancer. She used to take me. I used to go with her when she would do the dance thing. And you see the dance, and they be when before they weren't performing, they be doing their little things to the hip. And I was like, that's the move. And so hip hop led to not hip hop. Sorry, breakdancing led into house music in Chicago. If you grew up in Chicago, it was breakdancing, then you was jacking. And then from the jacking, the hip hop thing kind of blew up. So now we late 80s, almost early 90s. And it was the thing to do. My cousin was rapping. My cousin was 10 years older than me or something like that. He was older. And he was rapping and he did his thing. And for those that don't know, my cousin is Duro Wicks. I think went by the name of Big Lip or Fat Lip. He's a huge. He was a pivotal player in the Chicago hip hop music scene when it first started. I didn't know all this. He just was my cousin Duro that could rap and make music. And his sister rapped. I can't remember what she went by. She rapped, and her boyfriend at the time, they had got something, and they was making beats, and I was just like, this is fascinating. Not doing nothing on my own at the time, and then come along my boy, my good friend, your good friend, Mr. Joe White. I've been know Joe White since second grade, and uh, now this is we in the '90s now. We teenagers now. We was popping as teenagers. I don't want to I don't want to assault nobody else's scene. But when we was young, we was popping. We was into it all, and so we were in the top teams of America. And top teams was popping. If you're not in top teams, you need to get in top teams. Um, and so we used to do talent shows. And Brother Joe came from the quintessential black family where they had access to all kind of records in your house, and he had a similar experience with music. And but Brother Joe was trying to make music, and I remember this dude. He was the first person I knew that'd be like breaking down music. So we was listening to Tribe Called Quest or something. He was like, "That's from this song," and I'm like,
Hmm.
what you mean? He was like, they took this song to make this song. And I was like, oh, snap. And so we were at his crib, and Mama Barbara, I think, let us come upstairs. And Mama Barbara ain't never let us come upstairs. We was upstairs in the living room. He had they had the record player with the cassette deck on it. And he was showing us how he could scratch or something. And he wanted to do something for our talent show with the top teams. And I swear he did. He took the record and like he made a beat without a beat machine on a tape deck. Like he took a bunch of records and like would just record a little section and get that pause, play, record button synchronized on that system to where he set it up to where it was a beat. And sure enough, it was dope. And I forget we was playing around and it just kicked off a freestyle session. And we did something. It wasn't intricate. And I remember we called ourselves like KFC and the hot wings or something at this talent show. And if you know anything about top teams, there's a lot of bougie old people that come to the top team. So they were just appalled at us for, oh my God, look at them. Oh, because we had some dancers too. It was dope. It was dope. It was. I wish we could find a tape of that. It was dope. I'm sure Brother Joe got a tape of it somewhere. But that was it. Like, ooh, and I had the bug. I already had the bug. I was backpack, headphone, spending my last
Yes.
dollar, all of that. So now, fast forward through high school, I consider myself a hip hop head. I love hip hop. I would go to things that was hip hop. If I had to go by myself, I'd go. Went to concerts, buying music, going to the record stores every Tuesday to get the new music, finding out the little sweet spots to get hooked up with the new music, meeting other people who was into hip hop, and not really knowing too many people who were making music doing it, except for my cousins. Uh, and that was about it. And I get to college, okay, and I meet another group of popping young people, and we hanging out, and uh, at the time they had I went to DePaul, so it wasn't a lot of black kids on campus, and so we they had a poetry slam. And, poetry slam. This was the older kids. They was all into. If my insides was outside, would I really be inside, or would you be outside? Anyhow, so we get to this thing, and they bring all these people up there, and as a joke. So me and my boy Hassan, y'all may know Hassan. That's Phenomenon, Hassan Phenomenon. I met him at DePaul. So we had this poetry slam, and while we sitting there, I just wrote something crazy down, and it was dope. I wrote it down, and I got up there and did it. Bam! Oh man! And it was better received than the people who actually came there to do their poetry. So Hassan, we were sitting together. He went up and did his. Bam! And so we started talking, and Uh, again, if you a '90s kid, periodically you're gonna be put in the freestyle session. That's just how it went. You'd be sitting somewhere and you might have to bust a freestyle, or if you was at a party, it might be like a freestyle dance where you start. We wasn't dancing with each other, but you might start dancing and doing your little thing. So Hassan and I started freestyling. A friend of ours, long ago, a good friend of ours, her father had connections with a record label. Um, he encouraged us to do something organized, and we started a group called Deep Thoughts with another good friend of ours who was a budding music producer. And 20 years later, we're still making music. We're blessed that we have the skill set and tools where we can kind of do this without having to be doused in baby oil and, and take advantage of the free internets that exist out here. And I wish we had this 20 years ago. I probably would not be doing what I'm doing now because um, I love making music, and I love making. I think what we do has always been a little bit different. Is um, we always make music with a message because um, I don't want a kid to hear my music and be led astray. And then what I know now too is that music is a spiritual tool. In its infancy, it was used by people as a form of decommunication, either in a village, in a tribe, uh, and this is prehistoric kind of stuff. And so maybe you be beating on a log or a rock or humming, and this was a form of solidarity. And if you don't recognize that truth, you can recognize that you can hear music in any different language or form, and it can move your spirit. You might get goosebumps, or you might have a feeling in your soul, or even the fact that a lot of people who have dementia can come out of a deep state dementia into full clarity by hearing some music that they used to listen to. So music is a very powerful tool. If it could do that, you have to be very particular on what you put on top of that, because that information gets ingested with those beats and rhythms. And so if I'm constantly putting negative, objectified information into your head, that's all that you're going to get. So I don't want that. So my music has a slant to intercept the negativity in the world with some positive information.
And I love that. And when we link it, you will understand.
Yes.
Um, and because you said that, you answered a lot of questions that I was going to ask. And I love that you're saying the spiritual connection and how it was connected to you from just as a child. Um, as a father now and as a husband, the music you make, how is it different from what you made when you were younger?
Mm.
Like,
Ooh. Yeah. It is a difference. My older music is positive, but it's a little bit more me I don't say being reckless, but me still trying to figure out a lot of things in the world. So you hear some inconsistent information sometimes, just me not being fully equipped with knowledge at a young age. And I won't say I was ignorant, but I was ignorant. And again, but I always tried to keep it high level and actually, showcase my ignorance as a tool to kind of teach. Now, um, my music is very methodical. I won't say it's like it's calculated, but it is highly calibrated. So what spawned out of somebody just freestyling over beats and trying to come up with some dope lines is now meticulously crafted and reworded and reworked and rephrased and revised so exact data is transmitted. Yeah, yeah, that's a good phrase. Yeah. So I mean, and then too, um, it's the longevity too. So once I put something out and I publish it, it exists. And so again, I don't understand how some people do that. I don't ever want to make a song that I don't want to make a song that makes somebody feel less than or feel bad. So, um, and when you listen to it, like as an adult father listening to hip hop, it's a scandalous marketplace. And especially what these little young kids listen to, not the young kids, the young people are listening to. I'm worried about them. Like they are scaring me. Like literally, you need a hug. And you need somebody to give you a little guidance. And if it's get to the point where I follow something on social media with like a bunch of young unknown rappers, and so many of them getting killed. Like,
mhm.
Mm.
and then they don't even care. They like taunt. They're like, we outside. Like, what? Why? Why? And I don't understand why. Like, maybe I'm disconnected, but why y'all getting killed? And we don't know you. We don't know what y'all done. Like, is it just y'all killing each other? Cause I mean, they Larry Hoover locked up, so you ain't gangbanging that hard. Uh, you know, the drug dealers is gone, so you ain't selling that much dope on the street. So what is y'all getting murdered over? Like, is it just you? Because you said these people is your op, and that's it. I don't get it. I don't. It's a weird place, and so I just I want to dilute some of that with something, to keep the legacy of hip hop alive and then spread some positive information. And maybe, just maybe, touch somebody to where they hear something we say and it make a difference in their life. And hopefully, at the end of the day, I think that's our primary objective on earth is to connect with another human being and have a meaningful impact on their existence. I think that's our primary objective. Um,
100%.
If you can, the more you can connect with, the greater. But if you can just get one,
Hmm.
your job is done.
So with that connection and talking about the young folks, what would be either from your first album, can you call it still an album, even though it's on social
Yeah,
media?
yeah. Well, I
Okay,
mean, it's out there. It's EPs. We
okay,
haven't done an album. We do EPs, extended
okay, EP.
plays.
So which song would you say if you had to leave something to this younger generation from your first EP to your second EP would be the song that describes Black Eye to the T.
To describe me to the T.
Describe the message you want to leave, your
Okay,
legacy
okay,
that would describe you to the T.
okay. So for my first album, our first EP, which is Deep Thoughts, we did a song called Think Twice.
Mhm.
Uh, powerful song, and written about these two situations we wrote in this song are real. Like the barbershop I went to, they got robbed. They killed a guy in there. I couldn't get my hair cut for over a week. And if you into getting your hair cut, you got the waves. You know, a week is a long time. You know, uh, and then Hassan was going to get a tattoo and got robbed, and the guy tried to stick him up. And if you know Hassan, two things: you know he is not an aggressive person, and then he's not a big guy, and so for him to get so uh, enraged, for him to fight is like, oh my god. So anyhow, powerful song, great beat, great hook, love it. New music, mm, mm, okay, new music. Mm. Okay, new music that represent me. So I just did an EP. It's called A Time to Live. Uh, I love this. I love this. I love the freedom that we have right now to express ourselves. And then too, I'm not doing this. I don't do any of this for I don't do this for likes. I'm gonna say it like that. I don't do this for likes. I do this because I love this, and I'm not I don't have no contract. Whatever money I'm making is off of the clicks and the streams and the merchandising that people are getting. So, but off this new album, A Time to Live, song that most represents me now is the song called A Time to Live. I love that song. I love that beat. Um, and then I think too is the message in that song is so powerful in that um, as I have come into these last couple of years, I recognize that there's a lot of things that I neglected to do for myself, um, for whatever reasons, fear, family, whatever, financial. And what I do understand now about life is you have the ultimate power. You will attract what you want. You will do what you want. You will see what you want to see. And if you are not, if these things do not bring you peace and harmony and allow you to grow and develop, you may be doing the wrong thing. And if you feel like maybe you being held back or subdued, then now it's time for you to live. It is time for you to go out and conquer these things that have held you back from being your authentic self. It's time for you to go out and do the things that you felt nobody would care about you doing. Not because you want to change them, but because you wanted to do it. Um, there's nothing holding you back if you choose to do it. It will be done. If you just today make a decision to live, tomorrow life will come find you.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
that. I like that.
100%. 100%. Um, so with that said, what this is gonna be my last question about music because you
Mm-hmm.
you you dropped a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your dream collaboration
Mm,
with either an artist from Chicago
mm.
or any other hip hop artist that you would want to put together a song with?
Oh, okay. Oh man. Okay. So, okay, this is it, right? All right. So it's I'm from Chicago. It's gotta be a Yay beat. No
Okay.
offense to Millie. No offense to my guy Mill. Millo is great, but Yay has the he's got the neurodiverse chemistry set down to make
Yep.
the beat just right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I like when all elements of music come together. So like when in the 90s when they were doing the R&B and hip hop, I love that. I felt
Yes.
like that was like the perfect balance of music. But now I'm a little bit older. I don't necessarily want a whole lot of R&B. I want a little neo soul sound with that.
Okay.
And so I am super enthralled by this young lady music. And if you're not onto it, I'm about to change your life. If you have not heard Cleo Soul, go to your iTunes, go to your YouTube, go to your Spotify, and look up Cleo Soul. And if
Okay.
you really want to get freakish and get deep, you look up her group that she came from, which is SAULT, SAULT. This music, this music, okay. I make I make songs, but this woman, man, the music that she makes and the way she sings, it is so spiritual.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, literally will take take burdens off of your soul as you listening to it. I can't explain it no other way. Like you'll be sitting there and you hear one of her songs, and her lyrics are so powerful and poignant. It's like you talking to me. You're gonna be in the car on your way to work, and you're gonna be almost having a nervous breakdown. Like, is she talking? Is she telling me I don't have to be afraid of my own home? What? So anyhow, her and then anybody from my crew. My crew is late shift music. No offense to everybody else that's rapping out here, but I like these dudes. Even Emilio Bucks got the lyrics.
Yes.
But I would love that's who I would love to do a collaboration with. Kanye on the beat, Cleo Soul singing the melodies, and anybody verbal agreement, Hassan Phenomenon, Emilio Bucks, myself on that track. That would be a hot track. And no offense to the other rappers, it's our time now. It's our time to live.
Right. So I love it. I love how the music I can see it brings you back to life. And I remember us having that conversation when we all got together after our game night and we were throwing
Mm-hmm.
axes and stuff. And I was like, well, so why don't you do your music again? What's going
Yes.
on? So I'm
Yes.
glad that you did. And you gave me the honor of hearing it and gave us
Yes.
the honor of knowing what you are doing because I love
That
it.
was powerful. That was powerful. And I'm gonna say it like I think when we did that, we had just got really into it, and so it
Mhm.
hadn't even been released yet. And so it was like now, so fast forward now, I've released two EPs or
Yep.
three EPs and a couple videos, and it's like I'm a beast. I'm like I will be doing this as long as I physically am capable of doing it. Just the way, and again, just to encourage people, like, if you want to do it, if you got a song on your heart, my daughter. Okay, let me go back. Okay, let me take it back. I'm gonna take it back. I'm about to go one quick deep statement. Okay, so
Mhm.
again, this child came into my life 6 years ago, right? Been a struggle. I love this child. Here I am, an old man growing and learning about this child. Anyhow, listen to a lot of children's stuff,
Mhm.
and because I'm older and wiser, she can only listen to certain children's stuff because you
Mhm.
can't be poisoning my little baby mind. Anyhow, so we listen to a lot of Sesame Street because it's fairly unpoisonous. And but I went back, right? So I went back to my Sesame Street. I'm talking about the afro, the bald head dude with the mustache,
Yes.
and they had a they had a song. It was like a little multicultural kid song, but the song they sang was sing a song. It's sing a song, sing
Mhm.
out loud, sing out strong. That song had me weeping in the car one day. And it was like, this, if you have something that you want to do, that you feel passionate about, do it. Don't worry. Don't do it for nobody else. Just do it. If you like designing, if you like sewing, if you like drawing, if you like working with your hands, if you like reading about ancient masks, if you, whatever it is, do it, because that's when you are existing. That's when you are here. That's when you are fulfilling. Right, you are feeling your destiny of living here is because you are doing something that you love. And if you aren't doing something you love, which and and a lot of people are in this place, it could be a prison. And again, we talked about mental health earlier. This is the number one way that you can try to balance your mental health is by doing something you love. You don't have, and even let me go back to, as a couple that's in a relationship, one thing I learned now, you you are this individual, your partner is this individual. You all come from two different worlds. You should have something that makes you feel alive outside of this person. And this person should have something that makes them feel alive outside of this other person. Granted, these two may never share that part that comes alive, but you got to respect it. So he may love to go play basketball on Saturday morning, and she got to respect it. And she may love to knit and go buy 100 pounds of yarn, and he got to respect it. But those things that they're doing are them, and so we can't be us if we aren't them. And so I think that's something too. Like, live, be yourself. Because once you fill your cup, then now I could go to somebody else who cup may not be filled and pour a little bit in there. And then they cup will be filled. And now we got two half cups. And we can go find a little bitty chicken. I'm sorry, it's late. Carry on. Next question.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So it is time for us to reflect on life. And
Yeah,
since you said you are now older
yeah.
in life and you've learned a lot of lessons, what would be one thing if you had to go back and tell Yohance,
Mm.
what would be one thing that you would tell him to help him along his path to get to where you are now?
Let me get my list. Hold on a second.
Number one.
Yeah, that's some real stuff. Again, just I would say worry less about what other people think because it don't matter. Do what you love. Find out something that you love and do it. Um, don't going back to the other statement I said. Don't let people make impressions on your definition. So, like as you're young, a lot of times we fall in fads and you do things, and it's not that you didn't like it, but you did it with intentions that weren't natural. Like so, you didn't gravitate to that G body with the rims. You did it because you thought that that was what defined people being cool in the neighborhood, and having G body and rims is kind of cool, but in Chicago it also comes with a certain lifestyle, and so you don't want that lifestyle. You just want to look cool, and so you don't need the G body with the rims. Anyhow, long story short, those are my two. I'll start with that, just because life is fragile. Appreciate those people who appreciate you. Don't worry about what other people think, and do your thing, and you'll be
And
good.
one last question. So, when you were younger and you always thought about what success looked like in the world,
Mm.
do you think you achieved the success that you wanted for your life so far?
Hey, you know what? I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm not saying this to be arrogant. Please don't take it that way. But I am blessed beyond my wildest dreams. It ain't easy. It's not. It's not easy. But I have been afforded a wonderful life. I met some really great people along the way. Um, and everybody I've let past that barrier of friend zone where we share life memories together. Every group of people, like from high school to present day, they are positive, illuminating beings. And I don't think a lot of people could say that. Like I've had some people try to taint and mar whatever I had going on, but most of the time they didn't last. And so as I look back, a lot of people I still maintain connections with. I owe a debt of gratitude to them because I wasn't always an angel. I wasn't always walking in my light. Um, and blindly, I put trust in other people for my safety and my being. And a lot of people kept me. I don't know why. Uh, I I'm not a horrible person, so in those moments of my focus, I I was a decent person. I was a good guy. I was nice. But again, there was some times where I wasn't the role model I should have been, or but again, walking in my life, I'll say that sounds a little bit better. But I've always been surrounded by some of the best people ever. Like just and angelic almost. And again, I can't. Could things have been different? Could I have be somewhere else? Possibly, but wealth and success is not a numerical figure. And so again, I'm 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 blessed. Um, I have a family. They are healthy. They are functioning. I have a job. I'm I'm doing well in my job. I have enough money to cover what I need. And I also have enough to where if I have some dreams, I could kind of make it happen. Um, I've been around the world. I live in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago, and it's beautiful in my neighborhood. You come see my house, it's beautiful and gorgeous. And this neighborhood is labeled as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago. So I don't. Again, perspective, um, understanding. There's a higher power in control of things, and a lot of the things that you see and hear are fabricated information to distract you from being in tune with the Creator. I am blessed. And so, is this what I envision success? Um, I would say yeah, and because it's crazy. I mean, literally, I had visions of certain things, and it didn't look like it is, but I mean, it's literally exactly where it is. Like literally, like I'm astounded. Like it's all some days, and I'm gonna lie, some days I feel like maybe like I'm dreaming, or maybe like I had a crazy dream the other day. Like I woke up and somebody had broken our house and replaced all of our appliances with something else, like some weird off-brand appliance models, and I couldn't understand why I was having this dream. I don't know. Anyhow, but hell, I got a lot of appliances in my crib, and I'm worried about people breaking in and stealing appliances and replacing them with off-brand products. What kind of crap is that? But no, I'm blessed. And again, I have been constantly surrounded, and this is something possibly to pass on to people or to share with young adults. My father was right. You will be a product of the decision you make. So who you decide to hang around with will multiply and become a factor in your life. And I'm hung around some of the coolest people ever. And like these young women right here who decided to become a special education teacher, who is she has her own entrepreneurial business, who's writing books about the feminine divine power, and who have come together to create a podcast, a platform to talk about things that people aren't talking about in today's society because they have knowledge, wisdom, and experience. Who got friends like that? Are your friends? Are your friends doing that? If they not, you need to get some new friends. Man, that's real. Like it's time to live. Stop hanging. Well, I used to go to a tailor. He always had a sign on the door. It was like, "You can't soar with the eagles if you're walking around with a bunch of turkeys." And no offense, but that's some real talk. And again, I really attest. I really attest my life because I'm not a genius. I'm not. I'm smart. I'm smart, but I ain't that smart. And so there is some power that is not from this earth. It ain't from this realm. It's from somewhere, I don't know. Inside, maybe it's deep inside or it's way out. You can't look at it with a telescope. There's a force that has allowed all of this to happen. And I'm truly great. And I'm just trying to do things to repay that energy from being in my life, or at least let me be attuned to it, because without it, I see the outcomes that exist, and that is sad. And we weren't built to be sad.
Mm-mm.
No, we weren't. And definitely you are doing it with Our Kids Are Awesome Inc. So you are definitely doing that, helping the community, helping others who are dealing and have to deal with issues of having a neurodivergent child and how to deal with that. And now you can connect with Carmen because Carmen has all these experiences with special ed and things like
Yes,
that. She could be a resource. She could
we need
help.
that. We
So
need
that would
that.
also be great. And um, we're at the point now where you can ask us any questions
It's your
before Carmen
turn.
wraps us up.
Oh man. Uh, what advice do you have to a man who has a daughter that he would like to grow into her divine purpose properly? And maybe I don't want to say properly, but to avoid some mistakes or some misdirection that a lot of young black women face.
Anybody want to go first? Anybody? Anybody? I would I'll go ahead. Okay. I would say that as a father, your most important tool in your tool belt is your ears. You need
Mm,
to be a listener. Sometimes men are always in fix it when it comes to the women that they love and they care for. They come to your daughter will come to you and be like, "Daddy, this happened and blah 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 blah." And the first thing you want to do is that I'm gonna fix this for my baby. But sometimes it's not that she needs you to fix it, but she needs you to hear that she can fix it, but she just needs you to listen to her
mm, mm,
and to kind of edify the fact that she has the power to do so.
mm, mm,
So that's one. That's what sticks out to me. That be a listener. I mean, if she asks for your help, of course you gonna be Johnny on the spot with it. You know what I mean? Any daddy worth his salt, and I mean a daddy, not a father. I mean a daddy. Um, so anytime that you're gonna do that part, but sometimes it's hard to just I mean even when it's some of the things that she's saying that you like as a father, I really don't want to hear this.
yeah, that's the scary part.
Right, exactly.
That's
But
scary. Like, oh,
knowing it because that builds that trust and that relationship with you, that is so precious and so so sacred.
mm,
It
mm,
gives her that space and that energy to always walk in her divine
mm.
in her divine feminine.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Carmen gave a very good answer, and I'll piggyback off of it. Also, allow her freedom to make the mistakes she's going to make, and don't judge her too harshly when she makes them. Um,
Mm,
Especially, okay, my daughters are 26 and 23, so it's been fun. And
mm,
we speak to them and we encourage them. Um, but they're two different individuals, and you have to learn how they learn. So
mm.
one you can talk to and she'll get it and be like, yeah, I don't want to go down that path. The other one needs to fall. So
Oh,
she had to fall.
oh, oh.
Um, she didn't fall hard, but she fell
Okay.
because
Okay.
she's a hard learner. So you have to allow them the freedom to fall. But
Mm,
like Carmen said, and I know she didn't say be a safety net, but that's kind of what I took from what you were saying. Be there and be supportive. So, especially as a man, when they come back and they're like, Daddy, yeah, I messed up,
mm,
help me.
mm,
You know,
mm,
you're there, you can help them, you can show them through your example of how you treat their mother, your mother, and other women, of what you show them the example of what it is they should look for so they know what to look for. And even when they make the mistakes, they know they can come back and it's safe. No
mm,
matter what, they have safety. It's important, very
mm.
important.
Copy that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, ditto, ditto. The only thing I'm gonna add is just always continue to love on her, give her
Mm,
those hugs, give her those kisses, and tell her that you love her,
Mm.
knowing that she's gonna see what kind of man you are to her mother. She's gonna see what kind of man you are to the other women. She already knows that. She feels that. But what she will always need at the end is that great big teddy bear hug from her daddy saying, I love you, baby, and give her that
Oh,
kiss. Because even when you're not here, she's gonna feel that. She's gonna feel that every day when she knows that it's a hard day or something happened. She knows that my daddy would just wrap his arms around me and give me a hug and a kiss.
that's right. That's right. That's
Oh, and
right.
keep your word.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Word. Yes. Keep your
Word
word.
is bond. Word is bond.
Yes.
Yeah, I never experienced this, but I saw a kid one time. Uh, they had their father promise they was gonna do something, and father never showed up, and that kid waited for hours, and that stuck with me. Like I was young, that stuck with me seeing that kid so defeated, and it was like they had to peel that child away from waiting for their father. Like, no, no, baby, it's 10:30 at night. He's not coming. Get off the porch. And I always said that. Well, I'm not a liar, and I try not to be a liar. And I'll say I'm not a liar. Sometimes mistruth is the tool you have to use. But I try not to be a liar, and I definitely try not to send my children mixed messages. So again, sometimes you got to tell a mistruth to make the situation work. But when it comes to my kids, I can't. I My son asked me when he was little about Santa Claus, and I'm sorry to tell you, son, there's no such thing as Santa Claus. It's me, and I respect that. That's good information because I love that look. I love my son. I think he knows. I hope he knows that. He better know it as much as I going on my way for that little jerk. But I love him. He's the greatest thing. He is phenomenal, and I love my kids. They are great kids. I don't. Again, I am blessed, and I just want. I really pray that I'm able to share some information with them, and so they can come to an enlightenment sooner in their life.
Mm.
Like they don't have to be 40 and 50. They could be young and be wise and do wise things and eat great fruit and drink fresh electrolyte filled fluids.
Well, I'll say this. Uh, Knowing you from growing up and seeing you now as a man, as a father, as a husband, I can say you've already imparted things into your children. Um, they might not show you or tell you, but everything that you've done for them in their lives will be fruitful in their life.
Mm,
So
mm,
don't ever think
mm,
that, like,
mm,
I want to do all this. You are doing it. Just keep
mm.
doing it, and your children will show you every day that they're alive. They show you how much you've poured into them and how much your wife has poured into them.
Yes, yes. Love them kids. I love them kids. And shout out, and this is not my only kids. I mean, these are not my only kids. These are my only biological kids. I have several children or young people that I have like these are my charges. I have to take and watch over them. So shout out to all my other young people that I roll with. I love y'all too, even though I may not get to see you all the time. But I will say this last piece, and again, I'm not backing no religion, but prayer is a powerful tool. And as you go through things in life, you will learn. If you don't know how to pray, if you don't know how to pray, call me, look me up. You can hit me up, www.okaainc.com. We can teach you how to pray. And I'm not talking about Christian denominations. I'm talking about setting your mind to talk to the Creator, to give thanks and ask for blessings. And so as you get older, you realize there are very few things you actually have control over. And if you really want to have some control, you better go talk to the Creator so he can remote program them to do what is desired. Or else you're gonna be struggling. And I hate to say it like that, remote programming, but it's serious.
But it's like that. It's like that.
Man, I don't have no control over this, but I'm gonna let me please just talk to them. Get their mind, get that off their mind so they can hear what I'm trying to say.
All right, Neo. Morpheus is listening.
Man. So, but and then we got to have a whole nother conversation on what Miss Olivia is doing with using tools to channel energy, and it's a powerful thing. Again, I thank y'all for allowing me to come here, and just the fact that you all are now historians and cataloging information into the internets. And I hadn't seen y'all in so long. And I don't know, it's like when we got together, it was like there was no time that had transpired.
Yeah.
I felt so young. I felt so young and vibrant. And that's how it's supposed to be. And I hope we can become teachers for those who need to be taught.
That is the uniqueness of our dynamic. There's not many people who can say that they have people who've been in their lives 30 plus years and they can still connect with on so many levels. And that's us. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? And it's not just women and it's just not a bunch of men. We are men and women that have come together and we are still friends after all this time.
Right.
And still, you know what I mean? And still you have, a very common and deep love for each and every one of us.
Right.
Well, with that being said, thank you so much, Yohance, for coming on and talking with us. This has been a wonderful conversation. We're going to tag or link in his music, so please go to Spotify. What we got? Learn the stem, y'all. Learn the stem. We're going to link all of his information for his non-for-profit and for his EPs into our podcast. And we thank you again for watching another episode of Beyond the First Chapter. And we'll see you next time.
Imagine us, fabulous, herbs and horto, fine wine, prosecco, under a portico. When cold wind blows, pop furs around the collar, we making dollars around the clock. Each and every hour, our power grows, we got the glow. No more. Imagine us, fabulous, herbs and horto, fine wine, prosecco, under a portico.
I go for mine all the time. Through the dark, then I will shine. I go for mine.